Hi everyone, what's up? So I'm Leah. I'm a French costumer and image archivist who happens to dabble into writing fantasy, but also poetry and strange little things, strange little tales. Yeah. And I write them in English or in French. Never done both at the same time yet. Maybe it's something to do. Today I want to talk about what it's like to write in both languages and why I choose to. But first, let's make some drinks. I'm almost done with my matcha powder, and I think there is a penury of it, so I can't find it. Can't find it anywhere. How am I going to do? So anyway, oh, what's happening with the light? So as I said before, I started writing a long time ago when I was a child. Actually, my father always said that I made more sense on paper than out loud. Ça va? But obviously at the time I wrote in French because it was my native tongue. But I've always been attracted to English. I like the universality of it. I started learning in kindergarten, I think. But it's in middle school that I decided to become more fluent, because I wanted to see the new TV show at the time they aired. So I needed to watch them. So I needed to watch them in the original version, because usually in France they are dubbed. Then in high school I started to read books in English for the same reason, actually, because I wanted to know what happened next. I remember it was the first one I read. Well, I read Harry Potter, I think, but then I read the last tome of A Song of Ice and Fire because I was so impatient and I couldn't wait for the French translation, and I wanted to know the sequel of the end of the series. Well, I'm waiting for the end of the story, but yeah, but that's another thing, right? Say coucou. Coucou. Sorry. For a long time I thought that I was very good at understanding English, so that means reading or listening to it, but not so much as speaking or writing it. As you can say, I have a strong accent, and yeah, it didn't seem possible to write in English. But then fast forward to last July, I started writing again. And I even set myself a goal to finish a novel from beginning to end. And it was for the first time of my life, I will finish a writing project. And this first book that I'm currently revising is written in French, even though the working title is Fallen Dynasty, which is a title in English, but you know, it's a working title, so we'll see. But I'm really fond of it. Yeah, but in January I joined a writing workshop, and for practical reason I chose the English one. Firstly, the timetable was more ideal for me. I like having activities in the evening, so my weekends are free for going out on a LARP or vacation, you know, just like that. And also I joined a very, very great Discord full of international people. It's called the Storyteller Society. I guess I talk about it already, and you guys probably should have heard about it by now. And it was found by CK and Dami. Yeah, for the community that I found there, for the help they could provide with my story, because these people are amazing. I wanted to try my hand at writing in English. So in January I just took the leap and tried it. It was a bit difficult at the first time, but I managed. And yeah, I wrote a lot of short story, creative non-fiction, a bit of poetry also, and also a novella, a full 30k novella that I talked about on this channel before, and it's called The Raven Society. But I wanted to talk about how it impacts my writing, the fact that I choose to write in both languages. There are some things that I've perceived and some that are not yet revealed themselves, I guess. But I find out that I'm more comfortable writing poetry in English than in French. I know that French is supposed to be more poetic, but for me it's like an ordinary and common language, so the images are coming more easily in English than in French, I guess. And I'm also more comfortable talking about difficult themes in English than in French, because for example, some of my poems are talking about very difficult stuff that happened to me before in the past, and they became an outlet to pour my feeling into, and writing them makes me feel better in a way, and I can't do that in French because maybe it's too close to home. So English is like kind of a way to exteriorize all these feelings. And yeah, I think also the fact is that I think poetry, like I like free form poetry, and I think it's flow better in English than in French. But maybe it's because of my education and all the poetic language that I learned back in the day, so with the stanza and the rhymes and stuff, and I don't like this kind of stuff, so in English it seems more fluid, I guess. Also I tried translating one of my projects, and it really felt flat. I don't know, I must have a different approach in one language or another, and yeah, I really had a hard time. It's not that it was difficult to translate, because well, I know what I mean, so I can easily say it from a language to another. But it was just like I was not vibing as well with the project. I think it was a very good piece in English, but in French it didn't feel... it felt blah, you know. So yeah. So it was kind of difficult to get into writing in English at first, but it really helps that I'm currently mostly reading in English these days, because I want to, as I said, I want to read the thing the day it's out, well, when I can, and it's easier that way. So I'm kind of used to vocabulary and rhythm and grammar also. But bilingual writing really has challenges, and I want to talk about it a bit. So for example, I have a really hard time finding my words, because usually they come in the wrong language. So I'm looking for a word and I'm like, oh yes, it's I don't know, stupéfait, and I like, how do I do that? How do I write it in English? So thankfully there is a translator and dictionary that can really help. I mostly use Word Reference and Lingui. I don't know if you know these sites, these websites. They are really useful. So sometimes it feels like a barrier to my audience, even though I don't really like the term. I don't think it fits me yet. But yeah, who can read my work? Who can help me enhance it? For instance, I had a difficult time finding better reader for my political fantasy in French because I don't really know serious readers or writers that can help me in the developmental stage of my project. And in the other hand, in English, most of my close circle cannot read what I created because they are not feeling comfortable with English. So yeah, but at the end of the day, I think it's a strength to be able to write in two languages. Ça va? First, it gives me more tools. Some emotions, some ideas, they just sound better in French, but also only really click in English. It's like I have two palettes of colors, and I get to mix and match depending on what I want to say. And it also gives me perspective. I've grown up navigating between different culture, books, influences, and I hope that shows in my writing. So in conclusion, I want to say that writing in two languages doesn't make me less focused. It makes me more flexible, in my opinion. More fluid also. And honestly, sometimes the best writing happens in the space between words. I don't know if it makes sense. Well, in any case, I hope you find this little chit-chat interesting, and I'm really curious to have your opinion on the topic. I don't know if many of you are bilingual or if you write in another language, but if you have, please tell me and share your experience in the comments. Yeah, so that's it. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!